Yo, what's happening people? It's your boy Kai, and today I'm gonna be breaking down the process of how I make a beat from start to finish. Now before I start, I wanna make it clear this is my second video on this channel, and right now I'm filming this with my phone stacked on top of a CD rack and with a bunch of lights and lamps and torches around me, and I'm trying to record the audio with a microphone that I'm trying to stay close to so it actually picks up my voice. So sorry if the quality is not all that good and everything, but you know, it's my second video. I'm just trying to make do with what I've got, so yeah. Now for this beat, I'm going to be sampling the Byrd track Black Disciple from 1963. Now I've already heard this track and I think I know, what part I'm going to sample, what part sounds good, where I'm going to make the chops, but I'll let you guys have a listen to it before I show you what chops I've made and how I'm going to sample it. So here it goes. Now after a while of playing around with that sample, repitching it, rechopping it, rearranging it, I've settled on a series of chops which I've arranged into a pattern. Now before I play you that pattern, let me show you those chops that I've got. They go as follows. Just those 8 chops, but I've rearranged them and I've got them into this pattern. This is the pattern which I've got. Alright then, so now that I've got the basis of the track with that pattern, I've just recorded it in and quantized it, so now I'm ready to add other elements to it and actually turn it into a full beat. So let me show you some of the other stuff that I'm going to add to it. Right, now I'm feeling that beat right there. I'm thinking it's sounding pretty good and it's starting to sound like an actual beat. And I think really, in theory, if I wanted to, I could release that as an actual beat and I could just like loop that bit that I've got right there as the chorus, add a low pass filter for the verses and just leave it like that in terms of structure. I think that's what most beat makers on YouTube would do. But in my opinion, that'd be pretty lazy and I think it needs something else to add that little individuality, you know, uniqueness to it, to give it a bit of personality. So I was listening to it and it had a bit of an old school vibe. It reminded me, like, it sort of sounded like some disco-y sort of vibe. It reminded me like of like a roller skating jam or something, some old school sort of thing, you know. So I was thinking what could I add to it to give it that special flavour, that little bit of uniqueness, that personality. And I was thinking, and then I remembered this one sample that I've had saved on my laptop for a while that I've been meaning to use. It's this one sample that it's been used loads before in hip hop. It's a classic soul break. It's been used loads of times. It's Lynn Collins' Think. If you know that song, then you'll know what I'm talking about. It's been sampled more commonly in DJ Easy Rock and Rob Bass, It Takes Two. That It Takes Two sample. I took that, I've been playing around with it, I added it into the beat, and I think it sounds okay. I'll let you guys hear the actual It Takes Two sample first, and then I'll let you hear what it sounds like now that I've added it into the beat.
It takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two to make it out of sight. Hey, yeah. All right.
Now with the beat. Now as you can hear, that sounds decent, but it's not amazing. I still feel like it's missing that little thing, and I still feel like there's more that I can add to make it amazing. So I went back and I played with it a bit more, the Lynn Collins sample, and then I added an effect to it which made it sound even better. I added a vocoder, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically an effect that makes you sound like a robot, to put it in simple terms. It's what Daft Punk uses for their vocals in their songs, and I added it to that Lynn Collins sample, and this is what it sounds like now. Now in a lot of hip hop beats and a lot of the time with sampling, one thing I've always admired is when a producer can take a sample of like a vocal sample, then they can obscure it and change it in a way to like make it sound like they're saying something else, and trick the listener into hearing that thing to just change what the actual vocal is saying. One example would be J.Dilla on his song Players, where he took someone saying Claire,
Run away, oh Claire, Claire.
and pitched it down so it sounded as though they were saying players for his song Players.
Yo, you wanna be something and can't play this game. You sound the same as you claim to be something you ain't and won't be without SD. Running to be smacked open-handedly by these. Talking this and that, you playing it was whack.
Another example would be Kanye on his song 30 Hours. He took someone saying Where the Islands Go,
baby, like me, where the islands go.
and he pitched it, changed it around, chopped it up so it sounded like 30 hours.
Where the islands go. Baby,
So whilst I was playing around with that Lynn Collins sample and played around with it with the vocoder effect, I managed to manipulate it to where it sounds like, I think part of it sounds like it's saying ride or die. I'll let you guys hear it. Now you may think that's nothing special and you may not really hear what I hear in it, but I think when added with the other chunks of it, you really hear where it starts to sound good. And then added in with the rest of the beat, it sounds absolutely bananas. I mean, just listen to this. But then you take off that vocoder and you realise she wasn't even saying ride or die, and it doesn't even sound like that, but it's the power of the vocoder that manipulated it to sound like that, and that's what makes it sound so dope. I mean, just listen to it without the vocoder. I mean, it's decent, but it's, you know, she's not even saying ride or die. It's not the same. It's with that vocoder that it really manipulates your ear and makes it sound great, as good as it does. Now, after that sample and the vocoder, I think the track's pretty much finished. The only other thing that I've added is a breakdown towards the end, which you'll hear in the finished beat. And I've also added a filter for the verses to differentiate the main sample from the chorus part to the verses. I just added a low pass filter on that, which you'll hear in the finished version as well. But apart from that, the track's finished. The only other thing I did was add an intro and rearrange the parts with the chorus part, the verse and the breakdown, and to make it into the finished beat, which you'll be able to hear right at the end of this. But before I finish, I just want to say, if you've enjoyed this, please leave a thumbs up, because this is my first time doing a video like this, and I know it's a bit, you know, it's not perfect, it's a bit dodgy with the lighting and stuff, but it's my first time doing this and actually breaking down the process of how I make my beats. So if you enjoyed it, leave a thumbs up. And if you just found this video through scrolling down YouTube's sidebar, you've just randomly been led here, then why not subscribe? I make beats like this all the time, and you know, it's a great channel, so just, you know, check out some of the other stuff and then maybe subscribe. And the final thing I'd like to say is, this beat alongside other beats of good quality just like this will be available to purchase on my website for just £2. I mean, that's cheaper than a cereal box, really. So just, you know, just check it out and yeah, enjoy. Apart from that, here goes the final beat. You can hear it right now by clicking this link.